Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Pink Print Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Kat Filpi.
And I'm Gio Ingletto.
And today we're going to be doing a little personal annual review. We're going to be asking 6 questions. Of course, we're going to both answer them in detail how we would, but we recommend you doing this obviously on your own time, journaling it out, and taking the time to just do this personal review.
Yeah, 6 questions to ask yourself for this year, going into this year. For this year.
2024.
Yes. So, okay, I'll start off with the first question. If I had the life I wanted, what would today look like? If I had the life I wanted, what would today look like? So, do you want me to kickstart this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need some inspo.
I think that where I am right now, I think I'm very happy in the place that I am. I think obviously there's things that I want to improve. And I think that sometimes when you say like the life that I wanted or that I want, it makes you think a little bit of material things. At least for me, it does. Yeah, it's sort of
100%.
Like, oh, obviously like in the future, I'm going to want a family and I'm going to want like my big house, my big backyard. And I'm going to want to be doing XYZ, which is more things. But I think it's more on the material side. But taking all that aside, and obviously I'm just not in that phase of my life right now. I think that like in a spiritual, emotional, mental level, I'm pretty much where I need to be right now, and I'm very happy. So it's like, what would today look like? I think it would look like very much like what I'm doing right now.
So what about your life right now? Like, what do you have right now that you're like, this is it? Like, I'm good right now.
Well, I think we've spoken about this in other episodes, but I think that I'm very much at peace with where I am. I've been like building my self-esteem, my confidence, my career, my group of friends. Like, I think that I've built to it. So right now I'm at a place where it's just very good. And I'm really happy with where I am. I'm happy with the relationships I have. I'm happy with my partner. I'm happy with everything. I'm still striving to get more, get further in life. But you know what I mean? Also like to be chasing things. I don't want to be chasing like more of the material things. This is how I interpret it.
Mm-hmm. No, I interpret it very similarly, where at first when I read it, I was like, oh, like thinking about like, oh, I want like a house here.
Exactly.
Like, I want to already be excelled in my career. I want to have babies. Yeah. But the reality is now that I'm 25, like I wasn't going to have any of those things at 25 yet. So if we're talking about the present moment, which we are, if I had the life I wanted, what would today look like? I also think that it would look exactly how I'm living my life today. Now, I want people who are listening to understand that, and this isn't to boast, but you and I do a lot of work. And we're never sitting back, crying about certain things or like living in this victim mentality. So if there's something that you think is going wrong in your life, I encourage you to like look within and instead of saying like, this person did this to me or my job sucks, blah, 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 like look within and be like, what can you do to fix that? It's the same thing as like when you're with a partner and you're like, they're not doing this for me. Well, why don't you look within and see if you're doing it for yourself first? So I don't know.
I think like also like you had a friend of a friend who reached out and said that, she quit her job. Mm-hmm. And that's something like if you say like, if I had the life I wanted, what would you do today? Well, if you really dislike your job and dislike your days and you are looking within and like journaling this actual question out and saying like, oh, actually like my day would not consist of going to this job that I hate. Mm-hmm. Well, then maybe this time is to make changes, look for something else. Or it's like, oh my God, I would love to be healthier and like I would love to feel better. Then those are the little things once you're answering this question to start making those little changes within your day.
Yeah. I think I've mentioned this before too. Tim Ferriss has this like it's like to get out of your comfort zone exercise. And he talks about this specific question of like being in a job that you don't like. And especially for people who are listening to this, who are probably younger, and even if you're not, like, what do you really have to lose? Like, for example, we don't have to support a family. All we have to support is ourselves. And I know that like in this very moment, it can seem very daunting because we've never known anything else. Like we've never had the opportunity to have to take care of a family or kids or whatever, or a partner. So if you don't like what you're doing, change it. Like there's just no reason to not. Like, if you're gonna say, oh, but like I won't be making enough money, then go get another job, be a bartender on the side, and make money doing that so you can pursue this in the meantime. Like, that's just what you have to do. If that's what you want, then that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I think this question is look in, see if there's something that you're unhappy with about yourself, about your life. What would today look like? I don't know. And make those little changes step by step.
Yeah.
Coolio.
Cool.
Next question is really good. Do you want to ask it?
Yeah. If I had the love I wanted, what would today look like?
If I had the love I wanted. Now, same thing for me. Do you want me to start again?
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
The same thing for me. When I first saw this question, I was like, if I had the love I wanted, automatically I thought of like a partner. And like, if I had the love I wanted from my boyfriend, what would today look like? But then I was like, maybe this is a deeper question. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is a deeper inner child question.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like, if I had the love I wanted growing up, what would today look like? And that's sort of where my mind started to go. And I think that, who knows, today could look like very different if I had the love I wanted, if I had all the quality time that I really wanted to spend with my mom growing up, and that not that I didn't get, but, you know, she's a busy gal. If I got more of that, would I have maybe more self-confidence now? Had I spent more time with my dad growing up, would I, you know, just feel more loved and more secure of myself? And maybe would I have not gone through so much of the lack of self-love had I had more time with them? So that's sort of where I went. But again, just because maybe we didn't get exactly what we thought we needed back then, or at whatever point in our life, we need to, at this point where we're already 24, 25, or whatever age that you're listening to this to, we know that we can't depend on other people. Of course, when we're young, we want it, but right now we need to be aware and take matters into our own hands and not be like, oh, just because this person didn't give me the love I deserved or I needed, doesn't mean I'm going to cry about it for the rest of my life. And at this point, we need to fulfill ourselves and give ourselves that love that we thought we needed.
Yeah.
Right? So we're full.
And not only that, but speaking in your case, like if you say you did get maybe your parents never got divorced and they loved each other and they spent all their time with you and they weren't so entrepreneurial and career oriented, whatever, like obviously they are. So
yeah,
maybe they did spend all that time with you growing up and you got that love. You would not be the person you are today. Like you are the most goal driven, career oriented person I know. And you're only 24 and you've made some remarkable accomplishments for your age, which a lot of people our age don't do. And
who knows? Maybe I would have been more baby.
Yeah.
Would have been more of a wuss. I don't know. Like
you probably wouldn't have cared to make those accomplishments so soon, but that's also all you saw growing up. And like your mom is still a really busy girl and your dad lives somewhere else. So you're going to start making your life for yourself, and you did it at a really early age.
Exactly.
Now, I think this is important to talk about because I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent.
Go on a tangent, babe.
But it also goes back to like envy. And some people can look at you and be like, oh my God, she's selling $25 million penthouses at the Four Seasons. Like,
I wish
she's
I was selling them every day.
Whatever. Don't discard yourself, discount. But it's interesting how like you're opening up and talking about like your childhood and being like, I didn't have like a mom who was with me all the time and my dad lived somewhere else. And I just want to tie it back to like envy and the idea of just looking at someone's life and thinking you want the whole thing, you know?
Right. You're saying like, oh, they only see like this.
Yes. This 24-year-old girl making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to, not that it's me. Now I'm making it sound like you had like shitty life. But
no.
There are a lot of like, there's a lot of good with the bad, you know?
100%. Actually, this weekend I was in San Francisco visiting my dad. Speaking of this, right? Yeah. And I was looking at little pictures of like when I was a little kid, and I realized like, sure, my dad moved away when I was 12. I wasn't even that young, but I mean, my parents divorced when I was 1, when I was really, really young. So I never saw them together, and I never lived with my dad. Yeah, I would only see him on the weekends, and then he moved away when I was 12 to San Fran, which is really far. And I was there, and then I realized, like, I think I got so used to also like not seeing him, and then when I saw him, it actually made me really emotional because I was like, oh my God, he's actually such a great guy.
He's awesome.
And like thinking about it now, like had I had the love that I wanted, like sure, maybe things could have been so different, but we still work on having an amazing relationship. And I've realized now that I need to make more efforts as well. Like, I can't imagine if I just depended on that and like he lives far away. Like, there's nothing I can control about that situation.
Right.
And like, what am I going to do? Cry about it? No. And like, make more of an effort to go see him and to be close to him. And at the end of the day, know that he loves me, and then still like, do you know what I mean?
100%. No, and I think it's like really admirable where you could have taken the situation and been like, my dad lives far away, like he needs to come see me because he's my dad and he's the adult. But instead, rather, because you know, like if you want a situation to change, like you kind of have to take matter into your own hands and figure it out. Like,
and at this point, like it's my, I think I said this before, but very much in my family, like it's my relationship with you. This is my relationship with my mom, my relationship with my grandma, my sister. Like it's individual.
Yeah.
And you work on that individual with the person. So it's like if I keep building that relationship now, like maybe sure I would have lacked it back then, but I can make choices now that make me feel good about us and that relationship, and therefore like I feel better about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would today look like? I don't know. Maybe it would have been really different, but
yeah. But we're happy where we are now.
Yeah.
I think for me, I mean, obviously we talked about this before, and I was like, I don't know, because like I do have the love I want from my partner. And at one point I didn't, and I'm sure like a lot of people can relate to that. So if this question directly relates to your like romantic relationship with your partner, then I still think it's rather important to evaluate.
Yes.
For me, it doesn't apply. I definitely feel the love and support from my partner, but I also tied it back to maybe not childhood, but like it's been like almost 2 years since I lost my mom. And I think about that because so much in my life has changed, and it's so like hard to explain because people definitely are like, oh, this girl like lost her mom, like that's really sad, now she doesn't have her mom. But your like whole dynamic with your entire family changes, because now my dad has like no idea what the hell he's doing in regards to like being a mom and a dad.
Yeah.
He's also 75 years old, so he's kind of like, I just want to like live. He's always like, I have few years left, like I just want to like live. I'm like, okay, like you don't have few years left. He's like a 30-year-old living in a 75-year-old's body. However, the reason I bring it up is because when my mom passed, I definitely felt this like lack of love and lack of support, because it's honestly not my dad's job to like take that on. And for a while I blamed him, and I was just like really frustrated and sad. And I thought about like me and my dad had a really rocky relationship in the beginning. I mean, kind of until like maybe a month ago when my mom first passed. I don't know. I said first.
Well, it was
whatever.
Yeah.
And I kind of just at first was taking it like, it's not like personally, but I was only dwelling on the negative about what was going on. And after I evaluated, I was like, okay, if my mom wouldn't have passed away, then I wouldn't be like the strong, resourceful, independent person I am today. And my whole life, she was she was just very protective and a guardian and would baby me. Which I'm not complaining about. I'm just saying like, the point is my life drastically changed because I no longer had that person to call and be like, how do I pay my credit card bill? How do I do this? And I couldn't call my dad because he has no fucking idea, because she did it for everybody. And like at some point I did have to learn those things. And I'm not saying that like this needed to happen in order for me to be resourceful and independent, but it's the lesson that I learned navigating this new relationship I have with my dad. Because if he wouldn't have been like, hey, I'm 75, like you're on your own, like your mom's gone and I'm going to go live my life, which is really kind of what happened, then I wouldn't be as independent and strong and resourceful as I am today. And in the moment, I wasn't grateful for it, but now I really am. And now I know that I don't ever need to depend on anybody in my entire life ever again.
And that way also you can see your dad, like honestly, like as he is right now, and just accept and therefore have appreciation and gratitude for your relationship with him now, rather than being like, I wish you were different.
Exactly.
And wishing, and he's not going to change. Mm-hmm. And the love that you want you're still not going to get it. So you might as well accept him for who he is. And have a loving relationship like that, rather than not, right? And then crying about it, it's like, oh, now I'll get along with him.
Exactly. So we've shifted. And now we have a great relationship, and I just really don't depend on him for anything anymore. And now we can like just have a nice, loving relationship. So,
and that's a great place to be.
Right. And so this all like started from a lack of love, which is what we're talking about. And, like it's up to you to change that. It just is.
It's up to you. And also, I guess, I know that we need relationships and love from other people. But when things like this shift and they happen, then we sort of need to take matters into our own hands.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, that was a deep one.
Yeah.
Okay. Third question to ask yourself this year, guys. My life consists of my days. What am I doing with this one? Similar to the first one, this all has to do with your life. If you're happy with your life and where you are, which is why it sort of breaks down to your days to days. But my life consists of my days. What am I doing with this one? I think that you can kick this one off.
Okay, I'll kick this one off. Honestly, there was a really strict period of time where I was really habitual and into my routine and blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of got off track. And I was like, honestly, like, what does it matter if I don't journal for 5 minutes in the morning anymore? And blah, blah. Like, and then it kind of turned into not journaling, not having lemon water, doing this, like all the little things. You're like, it's not going to matter if I don't do this. It's the way that all of them together make such a big difference. So now I'm definitely back on my routine, but for the past like
year
and a half, 2 years, like was just really struggling. And now that I've like got myself back on the right path, I think it's really just interesting to like notice those shifts. Like all the small little things you do in your day are what make your life like so like impactful. And what am I doing with my days? Every single day I prioritize myself, my body, my career, and my relationships. So that means waking up really early at 5:45 in the morning, making sure I can meditate, making sure I do my affirmations.
Get to the 5:45 in the morning.
No, you don't. But this is just how my day has to go in order for me to like feel calm and grounded. This isn't like, also there's a difference between like feeling joy and feeling grounded. This is how I have to stay grounded.
Yes.
So wake up, meditate, affirmations, have my matcha, go work out, come back, get ready to go to work. And then after work, I love to like cook with my boyfriend, call my aunt, my dad, whoever, or see one of them for dinner. But you really just have to, for me, that's how I fit all those things in one day. Like, but I have to prioritize myself first in the morning.
Right.
So,
but all these little habits make up your day.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. You're saying that maybe if one day you skip or not, it really does make a difference. So as a total.
Yeah. I mean, one day here and there, it's fine. But once you get totally off track and you think that like even taking a 10-minute walk in the morning doesn't matter, like it does, because you're waking up, you're getting sunlight in your eyes to your brain. It's actually affecting your hormones. You're going to be able to go to sleep earlier. So, and that's one small thing that you can do. Yeah. So imagine if you're doing a few small things in habit stacking.
Yeah. I think that the days go by so fast. And then every day I'm like, oh, it's Friday again. Oh, it's the week again. Oh, it's Monday. Oh, and it's just like the weeks go by so fast and time goes by so fast that if you're just sort of living life like, no, I don't want to say passively, but it sort of becomes passively, like it goes by way too fast to not be present.
Yeah.
And to really be doing the things that you want to be doing every single day.
Yeah.
So you're saying these little habits, well, if you end up not doing it one day, it turns into 2, into a week, into a month. And when you see you're off track, you don't feel that good about yourself. And then, oh my God, where did the year go? So
exactly.
Just to make sure that you are doing everything that fulfills you in each day and filling your days with things that make you happy. And if not, make some changes. Because the days go by way too fast and life is too short.
Yeah.
To be unhappy and to go a whole month being like, oh, what did I do this month?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what was significant this month? Oh, nothing. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Number 4. Am I truly doing the best I can right now? Do you think you're truly doing the best?
Am I truly doing the best I can right now? I believe that I am. And I think I'm very self-aware that if I'm not, I know that I need to, I like feel it in my body when I'm like, oh, I need to be giving it a little bit more of a push at work, or I think I need to be making more of an effort with my family, or making more like phone calls to my grandmas. Like I know intuitively, I think at a point where I'm just like, I know I need to be doing this a little more.
Yeah.
So, but I always check in. I think that these questions are good to check in regularly. Because again, time goes by fast and it's like maybe you lose track, and just to make sure that you're still like on top of the priorities of your priorities. Yeah. In your life, right?
Yeah.
Do you think you're doing the best you can?
Yeah, I mean, I thought I was. No, I think I am. I am. I mean, actually, this is a good example. I was going to say I'm not, because I literally just found a mistake in work right before we sat down to record this podcast. God. But And I was about to be like, well, I guess I'm not doing the best I can because I fucked
but you
up.
can make mistakes.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, even if you fuck up, like, you can still be doing the best that you possibly can. And now I'm going to fix it. So it's okay.
Also, if the best you can do right now is like 50%, that's okay. As long as you're doing the best that you can.
Yeah. No, I agree.
In this given moment.
I agree. But also,
it's not like 100% all the time.
I know.
My word's commit, so let's fucking go.
Yeah, exactly. I just think a lot, I catch myself always trying to like, and I'm very self-aware too, but I always can find myself like trying to make excuses in my head, and immediately I'm like, nope, that's an excuse. Like, nope, that's not true. Like, whatever. So, but I think it's really hard to like fight the negative chatter in our brains sometimes.
It is hard.
Yeah. And this goes for anything. It goes for work. It's like, oh, you're not rinsing this fast enough. Oh, at the gym, like you're not lifting the heaviest weights that you possibly can, or vice versa. Like, no, you're doing a good job. Like, it's okay. You don't need to be doing that. Or it's like, actually, yeah, I can be like having an open house this day. Or at the gym, like, oh, I'm on my period. Like, I'm going to lift lighter today. But like, no, like, why don't you try lifting heavier? And then if you really don't feel good, put the weights down and go lower, Yeah. So it goes for anything in life. But so anyway, yeah, I think I'm doing the best I can right now. Honestly, I can't imagine giving much more.
Much more.
to anyone else besides myself.
Okay, cool. The 5th question to ask yourself is, how do I want to feel? I don't know, you guys, how do you want to feel?
I think this also kind of goes back to our words of the year. If you listen to that episode,
yes. Go back and listen to it if you haven't.
Yeah, obviously. My word was freedom. So see, like, this is why the word of the year is so important, because I do go back and I think about, like, do I feel like free within my career? Do I feel free within my relationship? Like, basically, am I doing everything for myself that I can be doing in order to like feel good, I guess? Because since my word is freedom, like, it was to just like not feel like under so many obligations from other people and trying
so much pressure.
Pressure and like please other people. And I think that it depends on what you want to feel. Like, if you want more love in your life, like, do you feel more loved at this moment? Or do you need like an accountability partner? Like, do you feel like someone is there to support you? But everyone's goals and priorities are different. Like,
this is really good if you go back to the word of the year. It's true.
Yeah.
Like, if my word is commitment, and now I really like say it in everything that I like, little things that I do. Like, when I go work out, like, I never do berries, and I did berries twice last week on my trip. And it's like, when I'm on the treadmill, I'm like, commit. I'm like, this is my word. Like, commit, get through the class. And after, you're like, oh my God, I feel so accomplished. I feel so good that I did that. And it's not that I want to feel commitment, but like, through my word, I therefore feel accomplished, good, happy, like, healthy. Execute. I feel like really good that I did it. And I think that all of these questions, and the last one too, which we're going to go into, are really just good for you to check in with yourself. And what we've been talking about a lot is so important, to be self-aware.
Yeah.
To just make sure that you're on track, to be honest with yourself. Like, can I be doing better? Am I not doing the best I can? And self-awareness, I think, is really, really key. Yeah.
I think something that's also like really important to talk about in terms of like how we want to feel, which I think I've talked about this before, but all of us are so comfortable in our lives. Like, we can order our groceries. We can just take the path of least resistance whenever we want. Oh, yeah. And I don't know if this is like crazy of me. Gio might be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I have truly been trying to like train my body and my mind to get uncomfortable somehow every single day. And it can be something as little as like, I walked to Whole Foods the other day to get my groceries rather than drove, because I can drive, park, go back.
Yeah.
And I walked, and this isn't New York City, guys. It's a little different here. People don't walk to go to the grocery store here, but it's not that far. Except I am traumatized because one time I like bought milk and then the bag broke on my way home and everything fell all over the street.
Oh my God. It's giving a New York moment. That's something that would happen and no one would care.
No one cares. And like, they're honking at you to get the fuck out of the way. But it can be that. I've also like, I'm not like a fucking runner, but I've been trying to run because I'm horrible at it. And like, I was talking to my cousin about it because he's like training for a half marathon, and he was just like, you're not gonna die. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. You're right. Like, I'm just not. Like, for running like 2 miles, I'm not gonna die. So
But it's very mental.
It's so mental. And then after you do something really hard, you're like, fuck, like I can do anything, you know?
Yeah.
And I think about like any like past experience I've gone through in my life. I'm like, well, I've gone through that. So like, I'm pretty sure I can run 2 miles if I really wanted to, you know? But yeah, it's just really cool
if
to
you
like,
just commit.
Exactly. You just commit and like get tough shit done. But I encourage you to try to take the path of, don't take the path of least resistance. Yeah. So
yeah,
you'll feel better.
Grow out of your comfort zone. And okay, the sixth question, last question to ask yourself this year is, what are your energy creators?
So I think that this, again, really depends on your goals and priorities for the year. I would look at it like a macro level of the year. And for like, of course, if you want to do better at work, how are you going to like create better energy around work? Like, what does that mean to you? Like, are you going to... Actually, I take all that back. Can you ask the question again?
Yes. The sixth question to ask yourself this year is, what are your energy creators?
I think that this does depend on your goals and your priorities. But for example, for me, big energy creators are the people that I surround myself with. So after every time I hang out with a group of people or friends individually, I'm like, okay, how do I feel right now? Like, do you feel sparkly? Do you feel glittery? Do you feel giggly?
Not the glittery.
Yeah, glittery. Glitterly. That's a new word.
Literally.
So I think people are huge energy creators for me.
Are huge.
And to be aware of like what person makes you feel a certain way is really important, so that you're maybe not putting yourself in a situation where you're going to be not feeling good after. Another energy creator for me is movement. I love to like wake up if I'm in a good mood or a bad mood. If you're in a good mood, wow, it's so fun to go for a workout. If you're in a bad mood, it's like, okay, I can finally like channel my anger
into something.
Yeah, into something. So whenever I move, I feel such an energy shift.
Totally. I agree. That's one of my energy creators too.
Yeah.
Movement.
Yeah.
Makes you feel so, even if it's 10 minutes.
Exactly. Like Melissa, like we always say, Melissa would help.
Well,
but
because Melissa literally has just 10-minute like arms and abs or something. It makes you feel so good that you just did something and you moved that day. That definitely makes it shift your energy 100%.
Yeah. And for some people that could be meditation.
Yes.
I think sometimes if I'm like really anxious, I do try to meditate, but I don't necessarily feel like so much better after. Yeah. At least I know like if I meditate, then I'm going to like slow my heart rate down, which is good. But for me, like movement is a way bigger like energy creator than that.
Or even like the other day, like it was like not the middle of the day, but like the afternoon, and like we had a little break and we are like, oh, let's go walk around the block in the sun. It was amazing weather, and like the Pomodoro timer, you like take a little break. It's nice to refresh, and it gives you like, you're in nature, you're getting some sun in your face, it's relaxing, and then you're like, okay, now I'm ready to get back to work. It does re-energize you. So little things like that.
No, it was great. And we did it like right after.
That's also movement. Like, and just being outside, I think is a huge energy creator. Yeah. Connected with nature.
Right. No, and I think like we went for that little walk like right after lunch, and like sometimes if you have lunch and you go straight back to like working in an office, you feel so sluggish. Yeah. And if you can take, literally we set a timer and we went for 10 minutes. Yeah. And like I felt so much more energized once I got back to like sitting down and like going on the computer.
Another thing that's for me that's great, that gives me energy is why I said, but being in nature. Mm-hmm. Like if you go take a walk on the beach and like take your shoes off and go barefoot, your feet in the sand, or if you are in the mountains or close to that, like being surrounded by trees and greenery, all of that is like so peaceful. Yeah.
I do. I know. I love that. And also, I think like just practice. What?
I said sitting by the water.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I think practicing gratitude is a huge like energy creator, because it can shift you from having like anxious thoughts into like being grateful for whatever. And it can be like while you're on this walk being like, wow, like I'm surrounded by these beautiful like green trees. And for us, like, thank God we're always in the sunshine and in the warmth. And it's like, most of the world isn't in the warmth right now.
No, oh my God.
And it's really nice to be able to like walk around and just like look at the blue sky and appreciate the trees and be like, I'm so grateful for where I am like right now. But
even in like, I was, like I said, in San Francisco this weekend, which was really like sort of like, well, the city itself is very foggy and rainy. And I don't think it's like that all the time, although some people say it is. But anyways, just because it's a little gloomy around you, and some cities are in the winter, it's still nice to go out for a walk and be next to the water if you can, like walk by the marina or go to like a park and see the green. Even if it's gloomy and a little rainy, you can still appreciate, and like it feels good that you're around nature, even if it's not sunny. No, because I'm saying if people are like in not a sunny place, like,
no, I'm saying the gratitude part of us.
Yes. But it's still nice wherever you are to just be around nature. Like even in Boston, I'm sure it's freezing sometimes, but you walk around the water. I don't care if it's brick cold. Like it's just nice to be around the water.
Yeah. No, that's literally what I was gonna say. I was like, I lived in Boston for like 6 years and would still go on a walk every single day, no matter how cold. You bundle up and you get that shit done. You move around.
Yeah, and that like energizes you.
Yeah, actually I kind of liked it in the cold because you're breathing in such like crisp cold air.
Oh, it's so good.
It's like revitalizing.
It is.
And I was gonna say the last energy creator, which is like a little bit more difficult to like get to, but traveling. Like every time I travel, 100%. Pretty much every time I travel, I just like come back with such a sense of like creativity and like almost
like
just
a drive.
It's like I feel like I was like my skin was like stripped and a new layer like came on or something. Yeah,
it's different. Not like as easy and accessible, right? But every time that I do travel, I agree, it is so nice. You're getting excited for the trip, and then you come back like ready to come back home, ready to go like back to work. You're like, all right, I had my break, now I'm ready to get back into it. You have a new sense of energy. You're like, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really, really good. Okay, you guys, those are your 6 questions. Your homework is to journal these, meditate on them, just think about them, whatever.
I recommend you journal them.
I think there's a really good journal questions because once you like put your thoughts to paper, you can really analyze them and see like if you really need to make some small changes or big changes in your life.
Yeah.
So we read them out loud again just so you can have them all recapped. Yeah. And that's your episode for today. So the first question is, if I had the life I wanted, what would today look like? Second question is, if I had the love I wanted, what would today look like? 3, my life consists of my days. What am I doing with this one? 4 is, am I truly doing the best I can right now? 5, how do I want to feel this year in 2024? And number 6 is, what are your energy creators?
Yep. And that is all we have for you today. Thank you so much for listening to this little personal annual review episode. We hope you journal and enjoy and find something new about yourself and hopefully change something for the better.
Hell yeah. Thanks for listening, you guys.
Thanks for listening. Ciao, bye.